All right, so I decided to shoot a few videos today in my spare time, explaining a few of the drills that were used. Yesterday I wrote a big ass blog post with a ton of pictures in it, but I didn't use any video. So I figured I needed to explain a few of those drills that were used. So this is going to be, I used the lacrosse ball to do this one. It's an overhead rib mobilization, little trigger point work. So these arrived yesterday. These are the Jill Miller yoga tune-up balls, which are supposed to be better than a lacrosse ball. We'll see what I think about them. So far I like them. They have to stay in the nice little netted bag because this one right here wants to use it as a play toy. So these are not for Bo, these are for me. So the cool thing about these is that I'm not paid by this company or anything like that, by the way. But the cool thing about these is that they have kind of a grippy texture to them. So compared to a lacrosse ball, which is also a little bit denser, these got a little give, but the texture allows you to get the ball, tack yourself down to it, and then perform some kind of tack and floss techniques and things like that, where the ball's not gonna move around or slip underneath you like a lacrosse ball might. So far, lacrosse ball works great for me, so we'll see if this is better. But what we did yesterday, or this one drill, was you're gonna be, and I'll show you here in a second, but we're gonna start with the ball placed between the medial border of the scapula, which means the inside edge of your shoulder blade, okay, not out here, but medial means towards the midline. So between that medial edge and your spine. So we're gonna start with it kind of roughly around right here, okay, somewhere around there. And then what's gonna happen is we're gonna do an arm movement with it. And then after a little bit, we're gonna reposition it further down, going down the rib cage. So an important thing about this little way of doing things is that, you're gonna see this, I'm gonna keep my hips up. So that just kind of keeps the tension where it needs to be, and then it also keeps you in a neutral position. So I like that. So let's start with this dude. Let's see if I'm sore from yesterday. So what you're gonna do is bridge up, and then you're gonna take the arm of the side that has the ball beneath that area, and we're gonna do what I call a sword pull movement. You're gonna start at your opposite hip, palm down. So make sure you're not popping up this way. Kind of keep your shoulder back. And then you want to work with your breathing. So bring it up and across, and then just bring it back down. So for some of you, this might be really, really, really gnarly. For others who don't have any janky tissues up through that upper back, which I believe would be very few of you, it won't hurt as much, but it's a good hurt. Okay, so I'm gonna walk it down a little bit. You just repeat the same stuff, same arm movement. Okay, so we're just gonna keep pressure on the ball and just move that arm. Nothing, no big deal. Okay, so essentially that's all you gotta do. So like I said in the blog post yesterday, you gotta put this guy back in the bag so we won't tear it up. But yeah, like I said in the blog post yesterday, you wanna make sure that you address the soft tissue stuff first. So a few minutes of foam rolling, just hitting all the major areas, nothing too crazy or intensive. And then if you're doing anything like this, do that stuff first before you go and do the mobilizations or the drills or whatnot, because you're gonna get a better result if the tissues have kind of been brought down to a more normal state. So things are less kind of keyed up, you're kind of toning it down a little bit. So yeah, so that's the overhead rib mobilization from my blog post yesterday. Hope y'all read it. If not, I'll make sure I link to it and all that good stuff, and we'll see y'all later.